Hello and welcome. Let's ask a question. Do banks follow any laid down principle of lending? The answer is yes. Banks follow time tested and sound principle in lending to safeguard public money against unscrupulous and undeserving borrowers. The first step in credit management is to check the borrower's credentials, also called as 3Cs, which includes his character, capacity, and capital, to understand his willingness to repay and his capacity to repay. In any business, it is the man behind the business who is most important. So let's understand bankers' 3Cs one by one. First is the character of the borrower, which includes his integrity, honesty, reliability, and reputation. The character has to be assessed both objectively and subjectively. For this, the bank needs to have a fair understanding of his integrity from different sources. For this, the bank has to do a KYC, which is done by examining and cross-examination of his credentials on the basis of officially valid documents or OVDs and other documents. For this, the bank undertakes to understand his identity. The borrower could be a sole proprietor, a partnership, a LLP, or he could be a corporate, whether a private limited or public limited company. The bank also needs to verify the address of the borrower, which includes verification of residence and business. And this business verification of his address could be of his registered office, branch office, godown, warehouse, etc. And these can provide vital clues about his integrity. Next, the bank has to undertake a CIBIL score. The CIBIL TransUnion provides credible data on his past credit history. For example, details of his past loans, defaults, write-offs, and overdue in past loans, which give a fair understanding about his willingness to repay and his capacity to repay. If the score is below 650, it is considered risky. The bank also undertakes CIBIL score of family members, partners, directors, etc. So, first, the past loans. If the CIBIL shows timely payment, it indicates good integrity of the borrower. Next, defaults. If it shows default in payment, the credit officer has to find out the reason, whether it is a willful default or it is beyond the control of the borrower. Many a times, the default is beyond his control due to data error or other factors. If it is a willful default, then it reflects on his integrity. Then the bank sees the write-offs. If there is a write-off of a past loan, then it shows the inability of the borrower to pay. And finally, the bank tries to study the overdue in present loans, which could be either a CC or an OD, for example. Such overdue may be due to liquidity strain of the borrower, which needs to be studied. The bank further tries to understand the transparency of his financial transactions through various statutory returns. For example, the IT returns. If the IT returns reflect the true position of his business activities during the previous year and his actual position of his assets, then it indicates integrity of the borrower. The financial statements submitted to the bank has to be studied and matched critically with the IT returns. The bank also tries to understand and study the GST returns. If the actual sales and purchase as shown in the financial statements submitted to the bank matches with GSTR, it indicates transparency of the borrower. Then there are other statutory returns. If he fails to file or files in an incorrect ESI, PF or other statutory returns, it indicates lack of transparency and would be considered risky. Finally, the bank tries to understand the reputation of the borrower and his family. For this, the bank undertakes a market report from neighbors, creditors, and clients to understand the financial dealings and forms an opinion about the reputation of the borrower and his family members. The bank also seeks opinion of existing borrower bankers to understand his track record. Next is the capacity of the borrower, which means the competence of the borrower. Here the bank wants to know whether the borrower has the confidence, skills, and the knowledge to handle the rigors of his business. For such a study, the bank tries to understand his technical knowledge, whether he has the required technical knowledge and experience of his products and services. In case of manufacturing, the borrower should have a clear technical knowledge of his business. Next, the bank wants to know his business knowledge, whether he has a clear knowledge of the market and keeps up-to-date information of customers' needs, customers' trends, price movement of raw materials, other services, etc. Whether he keeps information of his competitors. Bank also tries to study his managerial competence, whether the borrower would be able to manage his men and resources and guide the business effectively, whether he has the competence to review their performance critically and find out the reasons for failure, whether he has the ability to devise alternate plans and execute them. The bank also studies his market reputation, whether he has good financial dealings with his suppliers, creditors, debtors, and bankers. What is his market reputation? What is his customer base? The bank tries to understand his business contacts, to understand whether he is smart to procure sufficient sales orders. It's very important for the bank to understand his succession plan. Does he have any person who can step into his shoes in case of his temporary absence from his business, physical indisposition, or death? And finally, the bank wants to know the key person information, who are indispensable for his organization. And now the capital of the borrower, which means the financial strength of the borrower. For this, the bank tries to understand the sources of his income and strength of his assets. And this income source could be his main income or ancillary income. And also the assets, the quality of the assets and the value of the assets. For this, the bank tries to know the type of assets, which is very important, whether they are movable, immovable, or liquid assets, whether they are secured or unsecured. The title, it means who is the owner of the asset? Is there any legal dispute? The location of the assets, like access to communication, civic facilities, and other facilities, which ultimately determine the value of the asset. What is the present market value? After knowing the income and assets, the bank now tries to understand his liabilities, whether they are short-term or long-term, whether the liabilities are his own capital or funds from banks, financial institutions, creditors, family and friends, etc. Having known his assets and liabilities for the purpose of calculation of net worth, which is actually calculated as total assets minus total outside liabilities. This is done to understand his repayment capacity, his capacity to pay the margin, and his capacity for future expansion of his business. Thank you.